At a restaurant, I saw my pregnant daughter-in-law. What she whispered about my son changed everything I had planned to eat dinner alone that night. After 12 exhausting hours at work, all I wanted was a hot meal, a quiet corner, and 30 minutes where nobody needed anything from me. Instead, I discovered a secret that destroyed everything I believed about my own son. If I had chosen a different restaurant, if I had arrived just 5 minutes later, I would have never seen her, and she would probably be dead. My name is Richard. I'm 62 years old, and until that evening, I believed I had raised an honest man. I couldn't have been more wrong. The restaurant was small, tucked between an old bookstore and a pharmacy on the edge of town. It wasn't somewhere I normally stopped, but the parking lot was nearly empty, and I was too tired to drive any farther. The smell of fresh bread and grilled steak filled the air as I slid into a booth near the window. Soft music played through hidden speakers, while a few couples talked quietly over dinner. For the first time all day, I felt myself relax. I picked up the menu without really reading it and raised my hand. "Just a glass of water, please." A waitress answered from behind me. "I'll be right there, sir." The voice sounded strangely familiar. I frowned. Slowly, I looked up. The tray slipped from her hands before either of us said a single word. Glasses exploded across the floor. The entire restaurant fell silent. My heart nearly stopped. "Emily." She stared at me as if she had seen a ghost. 6 months. She had been missing for 6 months. My son Daniel had searched for her. Or at least that's what he claimed. He had cried in my kitchen. He had told us she packed her clothes, abandoned their marriage, and vanished without leaving a single explanation. We believed every word. My wife cried herself to sleep for weeks, convinced something terrible had happened to the young woman she loved like a daughter. We called hospitals, police stations, friends. Nobody had seen Emily, until now. Except the woman standing in front of me wasn't the Emily I remembered. Her face had become thin and pale. Dark circles surrounded frightened eyes that never stopped scanning the room. Then I noticed what the loose apron couldn't hide. She was heavily pregnant, at least 8 months. My knees nearly gave out beneath me. Daniel never mentioned a baby. Not once. "Emily," I whispered again. She rushed forward before anyone else could react, grabbed my wrist with surprising strength, and pulled me toward the hallway leading to the kitchen. Her hands were ice cold. She looked over both shoulders before speaking. Then, with tears filling her eyes, she whispered 7 words that changed my life forever. "Please, don't tell Daniel I'm alive." For several seconds, I couldn't even breathe. "What are you talking about?" I asked. "He thinks you disappeared." "I know. He told us you left him." "I know." "Emily, what is happening?" Her lips trembled. "I didn't leave your son." She swallowed hard. "I ran for my life." The words echoed inside my head. No, that wasn't possible. Daniel wasn't violent. Daniel volunteered at community events. Daniel remembered birthdays. Daniel always called his mother every Sunday. This couldn't be true. Could it? Emily wiped tears from her cheeks before speaking again. "You think you know your son?" Her voice cracked. "You don't." Every instinct told me she wasn't lying. Fear like hers couldn't be acted. Not like this. Not with shaking hands. Not with bruises barely hidden beneath her sleeves. Not with the terrified look of someone expecting danger to walk through the front door at any second. She glanced toward the dining room again. "If he finds me," she whispered, "he'll finish what he started." A chill raced down my spine. What did he do? Emily closed her eyes for a long moment before answering. "When I found out I was pregnant, I thought our family was finally going to be happy." A tear rolled down her face. I had no idea I was living with a stranger. She reached into her apron pocket with trembling fingers and pulled out a folded photograph. When she handed it to me, my entire world began to collapse. Because what I saw in that picture proved she wasn't imagining any of this. And in that terrifying moment, I realized I was about to learn the darkest secret my son had been hiding from all of us.